Hey Tubes, okay, we're back here. I'll go ahead and get the marinade out. It's been soaking in the refrigerator for just about 26.5 hours. That's pretty good time for this marinade to soak into the meat. Now when you take your marinade and beef jerky mix out of the refrigerator, remember it's been sitting in some really cold air. Your refrigerator will make the grease harden up, so it'll kind of look like it's got fat all over. That's just from where you cut the meat, and it's got grease inside there with the marinade mix. Remember, you are messing with raw meat still, so make sure you wash your hands before and after. So let me go ahead and get my hands washed. Excuse me. Alright, I've already got a bowl out here that I'm going to dump my marinade into. Now be careful if you're wearing a white shirt or an apron or something, it may splash up on you. Sometimes you got to dig it out of the container. Look at that, Tubes. Okay, let me go ahead and get some of this off my hands here. Alright, I've got my dehydrator right here. I haven't got it plugged in yet. So let's go ahead and go down to the last tier. Set that out of the way. And start taking your meat and laying it out as flat as you can. Just like this right here. You'll have big pieces, small pieces, however it may look on here. Try to get it as flat and separated. Don't leave two or three pieces together because it won't cook. If you got 2 or 3 pieces together, I don't think it's too late to cut it in half if you got them too big of pieces, but like I said earlier, try to make sure everything is in order the way you want it to go. Go ahead and lay out your meat and double check to make sure, because these are a little tricky pieces of meat. Some of them stick together. It's just like they're suction cup, but you know, just take your time doing it. Fill the tray up as much as you can. I mean, you don't have to fill it up super full, but you know, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room. Actually, I've only got a 4-tier dehydrator. So I'm not sure if I'm really going to have enough room to fill it all up or not. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Like I said, make sure they're pulled apart and just lay them out. See, like that one there was stuck together. Now, you know, I got it pulled apart. Now, these are some pretty big pieces. But at the end, you're going to want more to yourself. So try to lay them out as flat as you can, all over the entire surface of your dehydrator. And I guess now would be a good time to tell you too, if you don't own a dehydrator, you can actually probably go to the store, see how much one is, and if it's out of your price range, because some of them can be pretty pricey. But you can also cook the beef jerky here, you can also cook it in an oven. You just got to make sure that you run it at your lowest setting and check on it regularly. You know, I mean, you don't want to keep opening it every 5 minutes. You know, you want to let it go on your lowest setting to probably about 155. That's what my dehydrator here sits on. Is actually 155 is the hottest it will go. So I'm going to actually run mine on probably 155 for about 6 to 8 hours and check it. And if the meat doesn't seem like it's cooking real good, I'll let it go for a day, day and a half, you know, because some of these are pretty big, thick slices. They're not as thin as I wanted them to be, but the longer you let it dehydrate, everything should be good. But, you know, how to check meat and all that, make sure it's not raw and stuff at the end. You know, it's just common sense. You got to keep an eye on it, make sure it's all good. Try not to get your meat, you know, entirely packed too tight on there. But let me go ahead and finish this up, and I'll get back at you here in a minute. Alright, I've got all 4 of my tiers completely full. I still have some left over, so I'm going to go ahead and put it here in a bowl. And I will get a lid for it. And I'll stick it back here in the fridge. And now I'll go ahead and put the lid on the dehydrator here and turn her on, or plug her in, I mean. I've got it set at 155 degrees. It takes it a second for it to heat up, but you can feel the heat rising through the little center hole right here. So here in about 6 to 8 hours, I might actually let it go for maybe 12 hours just to be on the safe side. Like I said, I'll continuously check into it around the 8.5 hours to make sure it's good. You should be able to tell when your beef jerky is done. You should be able to apply it, and it's not going to bounce back into place, but it should slowly rise back into the shape that it was formed in. And I'll go ahead and tell you this now, if you do follow these rules, you should come out with some damn good beef jerky. But do it at your own risk. Make sure you check all the meat. Make sure it's completely done. You don't want to eat a piece of raw meat that's been sitting on your counter with a fan running on it for the last 6 to 8 hours. Don't just start tearing into it. Make sure you check it first. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run for 8.5 hours. I'm going to double check it here in a little bit and make sure everything's good. And we should have some beef jerky tubes in here in about 8.
Swap the tears out.
Do what?
Swap the tears out.
Swap the tears out. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, in between cooking, like every 2 hours maybe, switch the tiers up and down. Like move your top one or your bottom one, move it to the top, and maybe take your center one and move it to the bottom. You know how, just kind of flop them around, let everything evenly cook. That's one of the most important rules. I'm sorry I forgot about that. But like I said, go ahead and cook it for 6 to 8 hours. Check it on the 8th hour if you let it cook for 8 hours, and make sure it's completely done before you gnaw into it. Now, it's going to be hard, I'll tell you that. Some damn good beef jerky, so go ahead and give it a shot. I'll write down the ingredients in the description of this video here, and hopefully to see you back here in a few minutes, and we'll see what it's going to do. Alright, talk to you later, Tubes. Hey, Tubes, it's me. This is beef jerky. It's been marinated 26.5 hours. I've let it cook now for about 12.5 hours. So let's go ahead and see how it's turned out. All right, this is your finished product here. To me, it looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and turn this off here because I do believe the meat's done. So let's go ahead and see how it. See, good, crispy. I'd say this is some damn good tasting beef jerky, and it's a lot cheaper than buying it at stores. So I'll go ahead and get the recipe written down in the description. You can make your mind up if you want to make it or not, and just have fun with it. So thanks for watching, Tubes, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.